We're starting and we're on. Hey, okay, we're on live. How's it going, everybody? It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to my Wednesday show, Hump Day, February the 21st, 2018. Welcome to my daily chat, my live stream. It's great, fantastic. I've already got a few folks signing in and saying hi. If this is your first time you've ever been here, say hi to me if you want. Just type in your where are you located? What's your high temperature going to be today? I've got a few folks who were signed in before I even started. And some people are already giving me thumbs ups. Love it. Fantastic. I appreciate that very much. I'm in Creston, British Columbia here in Canada. If you're just joining me for the first time, you've never been here before, you're wondering, what is this all about? Why do I see Twitter things about this show? Or you did a search for cruising and you somehow came across my channel, and here you are. Welcome. I'm Bruce with Traveling with Bruce. I'm located in Creston, BC in Canada. I'm 3 miles north of the U.S. border. Idaho is just out here. And it is a beautiful sunny day here in Creston today. The sun's angle is so high that even though we're only at 20 degrees Fahrenheit, we're melting on the streets and the sidewalks. Not fast, but we're melting. So wherever the sun is shining, snow hasn't got a chance. On the yards, though, in the front yards, the lawns, it's, we still got a foot of snow. But slowly but surely, we are melting. Apparently tomorrow we're going to reach almost 32 degrees, so the melt fest is on. Richard Kormaski in Philly tells me it's 80 in Philadelphia. This is February 21st. It's 80 degrees in Philadelphia. There's no global warming. There's no, that's just a fallacy. There's no such thing as warmer temperatures than usual. That's all just made up. 80 in Philadelphia. Oh my God. They're not playing baseball, but they want to be. I'll tell you that. I think the golfers are itching to get out now. Unbelievable. That's just incredible. What else I want to tell you? Oh, my channel, Traveling with Bruce. It's a channel talking about traveling, and I love talking about cruise ships, going on cruise ship vacations, finding deals, talking with my viewers every day about what's going on out there, specials that are going on, cruise lines doing promotions or this or that, news about a certain cruise ship, different information, what you can bring on a cruise, what you can't, packing tips. We share it all. This is an open Q&A type format. You can ask me anything you want about going on a cruise or traveling. If I can't answer the question on the spot, one of these folks who are typing in right now probably can. And so we'll just share our thoughts and have a chat. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's the fastest hour on the internet, they say. Sometimes I go longer than an hour. Usually I do go longer than an hour, but the other day I went very long. And speaking of the other day, okay, you regulars know this, and I'm not going to bore you too much if I can. I can at all avoid it. But for you newbies, and I'm getting newbies all the time, first of all, I went off the air yesterday afternoon, and I had 1,048 subscribers because we had hit 1,000 subscribers 2 days ago. Big event. We did that live on the air right here on this chat. It took me 2 hours, 20 minutes to finally shut it down, but we hit 1,000 subscribers while I was talking to you because you guys wouldn't let me get off the air without doing it first, which I appreciated. And I've added 48 more for yesterday. Now I'm at 1,073, 25 more. And this is wonderful. At this rate, we're adding 750, 800 subscribers a month at this pace. That's how it's going. So by the end of March, it'll easily be 2,000 subscribers because this is just growing exponentially. It is fantastic. I am so appreciative, so happy and grateful, and I welcome you all, all of you as subscribers, and of course my regular viewers who just watch from time to time. Welcome you, of course, every time, anytime, and love getting your comments, love getting the thumbs ups. Don't like the thumbs downs, but if you got to give me one, you got to give me one. It's okay. And the channel is growing, and it's fantastic. Now, speaking about the channel, I have to say something about YouTube, because last night I'm sitting here having done this live stream and everything, and I posted my video, I had my dinner, watching a little bit of the Olympics on TV, and I'm keeping an eye on my channel, and a flash announcement shows up on my channel. Bruce, you've been demonetized. I'm going, demonetized? What do you mean I've been demonetized? I have 11,000 hours of view time. I only need 4,000. I have 1,050 subscribers at that point. I only needed 1,000. I'm demonetized. And I'm going, what does that mean? So I go to my analytics page and I dig into what's going on, find out the status of my channel. And sure enough, I've been demonetized. And it says, congratulations. I'm going, congratulations. What's to celebrate? Well, congratulations. You reached the minimum requirement of 4,000 hours. You've reached 1,000 subscribers. You're now in review. I'm going, great. That's a good thing. So I'm doing a little more digging, and I've kind of figured out what's happening here, as best as I can figure it anyway. Apparently, when YouTube announced back in January, about the 17th of January, that they're changing the rules for monetization, they kind of said it but didn't say it clearly enough. Obviously, I didn't get the message, and many others didn't get it. But the message was something along the lines of, if you have 4,000 hours right now in January 17th, and you have 1,000 subscribers right now, you're monetized, and you'll be fine as long as you're adhering to all the policies and standards of YouTube that allow us to advertise on your channel. All that gobbledygook. Okay, great. But apparently, if you weren't at that level, you had 30 days to get to that level, and you would then automatically be reviewed. In other words, if you were monetized back in January the 17th, which I was, you would stay monetized until Feb 20. But if you were to reach the level, the new level of watch time and subscriber count, you would then be kind of conditionally in the door. You're kind of like, way to go, and you're already being reviewed for monetization. We're just double checking what you're doing, how you've been doing it, and to make sure that you're adhering to our policies, and all should be well. So they're giving me a sort of an indication that it might only be a week or so, we hope. And so it'll only cost me, a couple of $100, because right now the channel is starting to generate some advertising revenue. Of course, that's when you cut it off. So anyway, so I'm down to one form of income now, Super Chat, which you saw yesterday. Those of you who were here yesterday, I now have a Super Chat feature on this channel. I call it a tip jar. That's what I call it, really. It should call it a tip jar. There's a $ on your chat thing where you can enter a little message to me. If you hit that, you're able to actually send me money. You want to send me money? I'd love it if you sent me money, but you don't have to. You're not obligated to. Well, but I'll take any Super Chats I can get, let me tell you, because that's now my only form of income going forward until they remonetize me, and then I'll have both again. But anyway, I figure down the road, the tip jar will take care of itself, and some folks will from time to time throw me a couple of bucks and say, go get a Starbucks coffee, or buy a pound of butter, and here you go. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So anyway, that's it. That's what I wanted to say today about the YouTube thing, that I and a billion other channels have been demonetized as of last night. Only channels who were unaffected were those who back in January already had 1,000 plus subscribers and thousands of watch hours, and they're always being reviewed anyway. I mean, if you've got 5,000 subscribers and 1 million hours, but you start putting out lousy content, like offensive content, you're going to get knocked off. They're going to not only demonetize you, they'll kick you off YouTube completely. So, there's standards to be adhered to, and we try to do that here. So I know that my channel is a PG channel as far as I'm concerned, and I'm welcome into your homes, and I appreciate that greatly. And I know that some of you folks watch me while you're preparing dinner in the kitchen, and you're just listening to my voice coming over the TV out of the living room or what have you. And I think it's great. So with all that aside, let's say hi to the folks that are signing in, because my chat here has been going bonkers since I started, and I better catch up. So Richard Koramaski in Philly is telling me it's 80 degrees. He's killing me. It's summer out here, he's saying. Way to go, buddy. Gailey S. is here. Good evening, all. Gailey is saying 4 degrees Celsius and getting colder. I have to say, Bruce, after that Carnival cruise, if I had the money, I would pay more. I was really put off. I will through, as you say, next time, I'll do some more homework, she says. Ooh, somebody gave me a super chat. Oh my God. Who did that? Somebody sent me $5. Oh my God, that's a latte. Thank you for my soy latte at Starbucks. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that is wonderful. What have I got here? I got to get back to my messages. Gailey is saying next time she's going to do some more homework. Well, Gailey, you would have never have known there was going to be a fist fight on a Southern Pacific 10-day cruise out of Melbourne, Australia. I mean, who thinks that there's a chance that there's going to be a fist fight between 23 family members and a whole bunch of cruisers on a 10-day Southern Pacific cruise. I mean, it just doesn't add up, you know? So yeah, that was such a shock to all of us. And the fallout is still coming. I'm hearing more tidbits, but I won't bother with it today. I'm going to wait a few more days and wait for more info to come out. And when I have some more detailed stuff about it, I'll mention it again. But it's out there. That story is out there. Pamela Jordan is saying, hi, Bruce, 75 here today. Welcome, Pamela. It's nice to have you back. Excello Spoo. I don't know how to pronounce that. So I kind of go, the X person is here. For the next. Good morning, Bruce. Tokyo. Oh, you're in Japan. This is awesome. Good morning, Bruce. Tokyo, currently cloudy at 2 degrees Celsius with a high of 4 and snow tonight. Welcome from Tokyo. This is fabulous. You were here yesterday. You didn't tell me where you were from. This is great. Welcome. This is fantastic. Anna EP, hello from Honolulu. It's sunny and about 75 today and most days. Anna EP, welcome from Honolulu. You're new and welcome to the channel. This is great. That's awesome stuff. George McCrower is here. Buddy, 85 and fair, whatever fair is in the villages. Lots of sun, actually. Welcome back, George. That's awesome. Christine is here. Hey, Bruce, congrats on your 1,000 subs. At 36 Fahrenheit in Coleman, Michigan. It's flooding here. Yeah, you're flooding. There's flooding in Brantford, Ontario. Terrible flooding. Rain expected. The heat. Or too much heat too soon. Let's see here. Mary Dubia is here. Hi, 66 here in New Hampshire. Hi, Mary. Welcome back. Jay Sonic from Montreal. Hey, Bruce. This time tomorrow, I'm on an airplane going to Cuba. Yes, you are. You're going on that 1 week all inclusive. I hope you have a really good time. Charles Jordan. Hi, Bruce from sunny Iva, South Carolina. Debbie Emmanuel says, hi, Bruce. Beautiful day in Northern California, but still only a high of 50 today. Need to get used to it for Alaska cruise this summer, I guess. Yeah, take a hoodie, take a windbreaker, and maybe some gloves. I don't know if you need earmuffs, but a toque, a light toque, for the wind, because 50 degrees with a bit of wind, it feels cold. So yeah, you'll have a good time though, Debbie. Welcome back. George is asking or saying to avoid cruising kids, select finer cruise lines. Oh, this is the topic of the day, folks. Longer and non-Caribbean itineraries, non-school holiday dates, and enjoy an overall more enjoyable cruise without merely paying a no-kids premium. Good points, George. We're going to hit that topic very shortly here. Would you pay more to avoid a children's cruise, or would you pay more for an adult-only cruise? Jay Sonic's telling me in Montreal it's 43, feels like 36. Bit overcast. Sylvan Forrest is here. Sylvan, how you doing? Hi, Bruce, he says. 5 p.m. libation and cigar in sunny Delray Beach, Florida. Wouldn't you like to go hang out with this guy? Wouldn't you just like to hang out with this guy? He's in Delray Beach, Florida. Slight breeze and very enjoyable. We reached 82 degrees today. It's delightful. Well, yeah, I would say so. It's fantastic. Sylvan, welcome back. You're just killing me. I love it. Richard is saying in Philly, one way to sail with few children, cruises greater than 7 days, and don't go during the holiday. Absolutely. There's ways to avoid these nightmares. George McCarr, doesn't YouTube skim 30% off super chat payments as Google's commission? They do. They collect the money, they run the operation, they convert it, they bank it, and then they send it, and that's the price I have to pay. And I say it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. Debbie Emmanuel, darling, sent me $5. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Jay Sonic, a fist fight. Oh my God, that's simply ridiculous. It was. Scott Batchley. Hi, Bruce. Nice day in Ventura, California, as usual. 60 and sunny, a little better than yesterday. Welcome back. H. Swan. Hi, Bruce. 67 degrees in Greensboro, North Carolina. Feels good. That's got to feel good. Yeah. Being in Greensboro, North Carolina, got to feel good anyway. But yeah, 67, that's fantastic. Skyhawk, 1987 turbo, one of my favorite handles of all time. 77 degrees here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Fantastic. Welcome back. Doreen Chapman, plus 12 here in Nova Scotia. It's the tropics, she's saying. It's the tropics. Get your sunscreen on. Get your golf clubs dusted off. We're going golfing. Bill Shoup is saying, greetings from Dallas, Georgia. Distinct suburb of Atlanta, 77 degrees, one of the most beautiful cities I've ever visited, Atlanta. More trees, more park space, wonderful place. But boy, when Atlanta gets snow, all hell breaks loose. We love watching those cars skid along the expressway because they don't know how to drive in it. It's unbelievable. Welcome back, Bill. It's great to have you. Christine, let us know how Cuba was, Jay Sonic. Interested to hear. Jay Sonic, you got homework to do. Lisa Gurtin is here. Hi, from Warwick, Rhode Island. I'm going on my very first cruise next month. Me and my family were going on TGE Oasis. The Oasis to the Western Caribbean. Any advice for us first timers? What do we want to tell her? What do we want to tell her about? She's going on the Oasis. It's going to be great. Oasis of the Seas. That's going to be a fantastic time. First time cruiser. You're on a 1-week cruise, I'm assuming. I figure. Let's see. You probably don't need to buy the drink package. This is not a marathon. It's not a race. If you're going with family, you don't want to be drunk anyway. Take with you a couple of bottles of wine in your luggage for your room, but don't walk around with it on the deck. It's for your room. If you have any drinks, like if you like soda, you like energy drinks or something like that, buy them at Walmart or whatever before you get there. If you can arrive at your port city the day before the cruise, that's a good idea. It's the best idea. And then you can pick up the provisions you need. But buy a couple of cases of cola or whatever drinks you want to have and pop them in there into your luggage, and you can bring it on board. Then you don't have to pay $2.50 or $2.80 a drink for a soft drink, for as long as those drinks last. For the kids, they're going to want drinks. The regular beverages are free, so milk at breakfast time, lunch should be included in your fare. If I'm missing anything, people, you let me know. If they have any special drinks you like to have for them, then you may want to bring them on board as well. Don't forget your sunscreen. Don't forget hats. Everybody better have headwear. You're going to be in the Caribbean. You're going to be in the high sun and the high temperatures, and you want to keep the sun off of that. So sunscreen and hats. Watch yourself in the sun. Those are some quick tips for you. Some of which I'm sure you're already. Let's see what's going on here. Coming back to my messages here. Oops, double check here. Okay, Christine, Lisa. Okay, you're going to have a great time. And I want to hear how it went. When you come back, tell us how that cruise was. We'd love to hear it. Stephanie Simons, 81 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida. I got a question for you later in the show, Stephanie. I hope you can stick around. If I forget your name, it'll be the person in Jacksonville. Okay, forgive me if I forget. What do we got here? Lincoln Road, number 3. Greetings, 6 degrees Celsius, London's. Well, are you London, Ontario? You got to be London, Ontario. You can't be London, England. Or you could be the east from the beast. Is it that bad? Let us know where you're from, Lincoln Road 3. I think you're UK. Jay Sonic, Bruce, I have to say that I'm sorry about my excitement about going on an airplane, going to Cuba. I love airplanes. I love talking about airplanes. I really do. But I bet you're on a charter flight. Or you're Air Canada. I'm not sure. Be interesting to know what you're on. Are you on I think you're on Air Transat. Didn't you say you're on Air Transat? That'll probably be a 767 or something like that. Jay Sonic saying, and Christine, I will let you know. And Bruce wants to know about the food. Richard Ivers, hey Bruce, 8 degrees Celsius and sunny here in Dublin. Welcome to the channel, Richard. That's fantastic. Richard Ivers, welcome. I just got a super chat from Gailey, 5 British pounds. Thank you very much. That is wonderful. Now I can buy a Starbucks coffee in Britain. How about that? That is awesome. Thank you, guys. My tip jar is working. Doreen Chapman, do not sweat the small stuff on your cruise. Enjoy it. That's advice for you going on that cruise on the Oasis. Yeah, Jay Sonic, it's land food versus cruise food. That's right. You're going to tell us. Scott Durwood, hey, Bruce, 3 below Fahrenheit in Havre, Montana. Oh, man, you're not catching a break at all, are you? It's unbelievable. Philly, 80 degrees in Philadelphia. What the heck is that? You're in Havre, but you're up in Montana. I know it. It's wide open prairie, baby. There's no trees. There's no mercy. It's winter. But in the summer, it gets hot. I mean, it just goes the other direction in Havre. Unbelievable. Big sky country out there, though, isn't it? You got great views up there, too. Let's see here. Pamela Jordan saying, Lisa, please make reservations for the shows now if you haven't already. That's right. That's a good point. You're on a big ship, 5,000 passengers. You're going to need to make reservations at the back of the ship for those swimming pool, diving shows. If you want to catch 1 or 2 of those, you may want to make some reservations for that. Also, you're going to want to make reservations for the shows in the big show theater as well. 5,000 people can't go at a time, and with kids, you're going to want the early shows rather than the late show. So you may want to look at booking that now. You can do that online on your website with your confirmation number when you check in for your cruise updates and status. That's where you can do that. Maybe you've done it already, but good tip there. Thank you very much. Let's see. Thanks, Pamela, for that one. That was great. Gailey, yeah, like I say, 5 pounds. There it is. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gailey. Scott Derwin, Jay Sonic, you should come and visit. Laugh out loud. Visit, Scott. Where? Okay, here's the question of the day. Would you pay a premium to take a cruise without kids, like 18 and older, something like that? And I was wondering about this. I know that certain cruise lines already have a no children policy because the ships are just not designed for a bunch of toddlers. It's not designed for a bunch of 8 to 12-year-olds with water slides. These aren't like, mega cruise ships. And the cruise operators have decided to just concentrate on the older set, generally speaking, the retirees, and those without kids, the empty nesters now. And I'm wondering, would you pay extra to get on a cruise like that? And then the second part of the question I haven't mentioned already was, well, what if, for example, one of the cruise lines, one of the biggies like Norwegian or Holland America or Princess, Celebrity, what if they came out and said one cruise every month, like one cruise a month, say in the Caribbean, is adult only. So for 3 of the cruises, it's families, you name it. But for that 4th cruise, and they'll show the dates and they'll show the restrictions. But for that cruise only, it's adults only, and no one under 18 allowed. I wonder, would they be able to charge more for that, and would you pay it? That's the question I'm wondering about. I know on the Viking cruise line, the ocean cruise line from Viking, they only started offering cruises on the Viking line, ocean line, because of the river cruises they've been operating for years, for 15, 20 years now. And they got 67 or 69 river cruise ships between China and Europe now in operation. And generally speaking, those cruises are really adult-oriented cruises only. They're just not set up for children. There's no play area for kids at all on these cruises. And really the big thing about river cruising is you land at whatever town or village or city you're at today, and you're going on a tour, a guided tour, which is included in your fare, your cruise fare. On the Viking ocean liner, they replicated the river cruise. That was the whole theory behind Viking going into the ocean business, the ocean liner business. Why don't we offer our adult clients who have this disposable money an all-inclusive ocean deal, no children, 18 and older, I believe is the deal, and we'll do these short excursions, and we'll make the cruise more about shore excursions and exploring ports of call rather than a party time on the ship, rather than doing the water slides all day long and rock climbing and what have you. We'll just do these casual, laid back, quieter, adult only type cruises where those of that age will really appreciate the quiet. In the evenings, there's no casino to go to, so forget that. There's a show, but it'll be over by 9, and the ship holds 930 passengers. That's it, but it's all inclusive. And I'm hearing nothing but rave reviews. Viking passengers love the Viking cruise ships, and I keep an eye on the prices on vacationstogo.com, as you regulars know. I can't find a deal on a Viking cruise. Can you find a deal on a Viking cruise? I can't find. $200 a night and up at least per person. And that's significantly less than if you're on a Seabourn cruise or a Crystal cruise or a Regency of the Seas. Those are $300, $400, $500 a passenger per night for that kind of 6-star luxury. You go on something like a Ponant cruise line, Ponant, P-O-N-O-N-T, Ponant from France. That's a mega yacht, a yacht on steroids with 110 passengers or so. You're talking 6, 7, 800 a night on that one, unless you can get a real deal. There's no kids there either. And so these are premium cruises as they are. I'm kind of wondering though if Crystal or sorry, if Celebrity came out, Holland America, and said this for the whole year, the Oosterdam is adult only. The whole year, Oosterdam adult only, and it's a 20% surcharge that we'd normally, over what we would normally charge. So if you're used to paying $100 a night for a balcony room or something like that, now it's $120 a night. Would you pay it? And would you squawk about it? That's kind of what I'm wondering about. So let me go to the comments because they've been coming in and coming in and coming in. Let's see here. Okay, we've got Skyhawk saying, as far as kids on a cruise, if the parents keep them in check, then okay. I've heard stories of kids running around and in the buffets touching the food. Folks, I've seen it. I have not only heard it, I've seen the nightmare. I've seen the temper tantrum. I've seen the adult just sit there and not answer the child. The child's going, ma, ma, mama, ma, ma, ignoring the kid because the kid, that's what the kid does all the time. And the adult is brain dead from the nonstop. If they would pay the attention the child wanted, the child would be quiet, but they don't get it. I've seen that nightmare and it's awful. It's just awful. And it can really make for a lousy lunch in the buffet. So, between dinner and dessert, you kind of get up and go to the dessert bar and you find a table at the other end of the buffet to finish your meal. Not fun. And if you're at dinner time, oh, God help you if you're in the main dining room and you get seated by the maitre d' over here, and then right over there is those two kids going at it. It can be a nightmare. What are your thoughts? Pamela Jordan, Cats is the Broadway show on Oasis right now. She's saying, if you want to see it, you'll need reservations. Good point there for the Oasis. Debbie Emanuel, I would definitely pay extra for the option. She would pay. J-Sonic, Bruce, yes, it is Air Transat. It's a 737-800 model, which makes me wonder about the in-flight entertainment touchscreens. Yeah, you might get some in-flight stuff, but you might have to pay for it. Bring your own tablet if you can. Watch that. Bring your own games or something. Bring your own headphones, your quality headphones. Bring them. Keep them in your carry-on. J-Sonic. Stephanie Simmons is saying, I'd pay more for no kids. It would be a special occasion cruise, though. Definitely not every cruise. But I have kids and need to bring them sometimes. Laugh out loud. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you got children. What cruise would you go on? Well, gee, there's Disney if you can afford Disney. I mean, it's a home run every time. You could do Royal Caribbean, of course, like the gal here's going on the Oasis. You take kids on an Oasis cruise, oh man, are you gonna have a good time? Norwegian, the larger ships that Norwegian has, of course, Carnival lines for kids, lots of things to do for the kids. So yes, there's definitely kids, tons for the kids. There will never be a shortage of cruises for the children. Let's see here. Sherry is saying, Sherry Ann, 1965 at yahoo.com. I would love that and would pay more for just that. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for coming in. I think you're new. It's your first time here. Thanks for joining us. Tell us, where are you from and what's your high temperature today? We'd like to know. Sherry got her comment in. Bill Shoup, for the first timers, try to stay away from what a friend refers to as cruise snobs, people who act like they buy a cruise to earn the right to critique and complain about everything. Bill, good point. I kind of hear you, but I also understand that if you're paying, I'm assuming here in this kind of example, we're talking about people who are paying premium money on a premium cruise line. But okay, I will also say this: you can pay a premium price to go on a cruise line like Norwegian for, say, the Epic, and you can book a room in the Haven Club, which is the private club upstairs, the higher level suites. And chances are you're not going to have kids up there. As a matter of fact, I think kids are not allowed. I think it's a 16 and older category. If I got somebody can help me on that. I think I got that right. So you're paying a premium anyway. Now, if you're in an owner's suite up there and you're paying $1,000 a night for each person, then there's 4 of you in there. It's a $4,000 a night room. And then you're walking around the ship criticizing everything. I don't know why you went on the ship in the first place. If you can afford to spend that kind of money on that kind of a room, why don't you just go to the Viking Cruise Line, where you're guaranteed not to have children and you're guaranteed to have an all-inclusive cruise take the owner's suite there, probably the same price, or go to Seabourn and drop that kind of money on Seabourn. You'll have a lovely cabin. Perhaps the four of you will have a cabin for each of you. And then you can poo-poo the ship all you want, but you're going to have a tough time poo-pooing it because it's kind of nice. But yeah, you make a good point. I find it interesting that some people feel they have the right to now be, the big food critic and the big hospitality critic and all that when they go on an average cruise line and expect to be treated royally when you're on a 4-star cruise surrounded by mayhem. I don't get it. Now, we all have our expectations. I get that. I agree with that. And we all have, I think, kind of been talking lately about how standards have been dropping on cruise ships over the last decade or two. Food used to be 5-star in the main dining room, included in your fare. It's not the case anymore. It's now more like 4 stars, 4.5 stars. Holland America is an exception so far. Very good food in Holland America. Celebrity is an exception so far. The reviews are fantastic for food on Celebrity. But in other cases, you have to go to specialty restaurants just to get the kind of food or the kind of food presentation and quality you used to get as a regular paying passenger on a cruise ship. That's just how it's evolved. Anyway, thoughts. Sylvan Force saying, I have never experienced kid problems on any of my 28 cruises, so I wouldn't pay for a kid-free cruise. Right on, Sylvan. I will admit that overall I've been lucky too, but there have been the odd moment or two where I've seen kind of instances. But I will say this, I've had far more instances of children behaving wonderfully on a cruise because they had a chat before they got there with mom and dad. And mom and dad sort of laid it out for them and said, this is a real special holiday we're going on, and we're going to be enjoying something that we may never able to enjoy again. I mean, this is one of those, this could be our once and only lifetime cruise for all of us, especially if you can bring them on a ship like the Harmony of the Seas with all those amenities and events. I think the kids would just be wowed. And usually kids that are engaged and amazed, they're pretty well behaved kids because they haven't got time to act like terrorists. They're acting like, oh wow, this is phenomenal, I can't believe you brought me here. And it's a real experience. And that's why with the Disney cruises, I think the folks who are handling the kids on the Disney lines are experts at handling kids, and they've seen them all. They've had them all, and they know how to handle all these personalities. So I guess it all depends. So yeah, generally I would say kids are generally not a problem, but then again, sometimes it can be. Let's see here. So S. Swan is saying, what is your take on a training cruise? I heard that Ecstasy has got one out of Charleston, South Carolina, going at the end of April. What's your take on a training cruise? Tell us what a training cruise is. Is it being a better communicator, or being a public speaker? Are you talking about courses? Are you talking about exercise? Is it like you've got a drill sergeant for the cruise to get you into shape? What's this all about? I'm curious what your take is on that. Chase Sonic is saying, share your name's too long. I'm not going to read the rest of it. Skyhawk S1, is that a carnival ship? He wants to know. And Christine is asking or saying, I'm going on Celebrity in November, smaller ship, 2,000 passengers. School time, no slides, no rock climbing wall, etc. Thinking few kids. You're thinking right. Yeah, you're thinking exactly right. Parents know. If they've got an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old, you know what they got to do? They got to get on a cruise ship that's going to tire these kids out. They got to figure out what's on board that these kids are going to do all day long, so that when it's dinner time and after dinner time is over, they're going to knock themselves out and go right to sleep. Mom and dad, they're plotting the demise of the kids' awake time every second of that cruise. So yeah, you're not going to be overrun with children on that kind of a cruise for sure. I seriously doubt it. Doreen Chapman, stay away from the ships with all the water slides and things. We have sailed on Celebrity for 7 days in March. Only 100 kids on the ship. Now, for some of you folks out there, we're going 100 kids. Oh, that's a ton. Yeah, it sounds like a ton, but on a big vessel, 100 kids just melt into the ship, and you hardly run into them. And of course, they have the kids zone, and that's where they hang out. And you just don't hang out there, you'll be fine. So good answer there. Jay Sonic saying, I have my laptop that I'm going to be bringing with me. Spice might be a bit tight. I don't know if there are plugs. There'll be plugs on the plane. Yeah, there'll be plugs. You'll be in the economy section. You should be okay. Sherry is saying from Connecticut, the high is 65. Hey, Sherry, thank you. Sherry Ann with the long name. That's fine with me. Fantastic. 65 in Connecticut in the middle of winter. Unbelievable. Great weather, Sherry. Jason, you're killing me, Jason. You're killing me. Betsy Lane, +3 in Hamilton. Hey, Betsy, how you doing? +3 is an improvement. It's got to be a slush fest for you now with all that meltage going on. Scott Batchley says, sad to say, I have seen the kids in the main dining room at a table for 12 by themselves, cussing a ruckus, and the parents sat at the other end, leaving the staff to try to maintain it. Yeah, this is what drives me nuts. When I see that, he goes on to say, Scott goes on to say, had to get a different table. It was a ridiculous situation. It is a ridiculous situation. It's the fault of the parents. I don't fault the kids necessarily. I fault the parents. Get your act together and straighten them out. Be parents. Be grown-ups. Train them. I mean, that's your job. Educate them. Bring them into our world. And when they have kids, they'll know what to do. They'll remember what you told you to do. Oh my God. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Crystal Johnson. Hello, Mr. Bruce. 78 cloudy here in Burlington, North Carolina today. I love your YouTube channel and topics. Thank you, Crystal, so much. Love to have you back. And you got any questions about cruising, let us know. S. Swan, yes, ecstasy is carnival. Sherry Ann is saying, Jay Sunning, I'm trying to make my name shorter. That's good. That's funny. Mom and Dad. Jay Sonic is saying, Mom and Dad to the kids, don't mess this up for us. Wes Morrison is here saying, would rather cruise with kids than take a booze cruise. There you go. Yeah, I would. But sometimes it's both. Sometimes you got the kids. Mom and Dad took a booze cruise because they could only afford so much for the cruise. And maybe the kids were free, maybe not. I don't know. And it's a booze cruise. And what are you doing with taking your kids on a booze cruise? Are you nuts? But yeah, you are. You're nuts. You're crazy. And you're going to get hammered. And your kids are going to see you, just acting in a silly way. What can I say? I don't know. That's the way the world goes. Lisa Gurtin is here saying, I've been getting mixed about what is free and what are paid places with food and drinks. Yes, yes, Lisa, it is evolving all the time. The cruise business is evolving away from what it once was, which would have been at one time, I would say 95%, 98% all inclusive. In the old days, from say 1990 back or 1995 back, everything was included except for maybe getting a massage from a masseuse in the spa, or getting a manicure or a pedicure. That was always extra. Getting your hair done was always a separate thing. But what was included in cruising in the old days was going to dinner in the main dining room and getting 5-star, top of the line everything, the linens, the fine place settings, the crystal goblets, wine at dinner, a drink at dinner, a sherry afterward, 5 or 6 course meals, all standard fare, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, primo room service, no charge, no cost. Any entertainment was included on the cruise. The drink packages, like drinking, getting an alcoholic drink at 2 in the afternoon, it depended on your class of service, because there were ocean liners that were converting to become cruise liners for holiday time. And if you're a first class passenger, you're covered. You could drink all you wanted. It was all covered. But if you were a second class passenger, third class passenger, you may have a bar tab that you would charge to your room. Cigarettes you would pay extra for, of course. In those days, you could still smoke in the dining room and so on. These are the old days. But today, with all the nickel and diming that's going on, it's driving people crazy. The older we are, the crazier it drives us, because we remember what it was like the last time we were on a cruise. 5 years ago, they didn't charge for that. 8 years ago, they didn't charge for that. Now they're charging for just like the airlines, just driving us bonkers. So you've got the premium restaurants now. Some are, they call them premium dining, but they're not premium dining. It's just the teriyaki house. It's cheap Chinese food in disguise that they're calling a premium food. Well, it's just prepared Chinese food, or North American version of Chinese food. $20, $25. Fish and chip house. They have fish and chip houses. They want us to pay $15, $20, $25 for fish and chips. What? Johnny Rockets, burger and fries, and a milkshake. Burger and fries on a cruise ship? More? You want me to pay more? Royal Caribbean is lifting the price from $6.99 to $9.99 for the experience. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. Anyway, this is what's happening. It drives us crazy, and you know, we've talked about it. I mentioned it again today. Let's see here. Jay Sonic, I like making Bruce laugh. You do. Gaily, yes. Jay Sonic, I've been in economy with transit. You have to pay for earphones. You can use a USB port to charge laptop and phone. I paid for Plus, and I got a meals, earphone, blankets, etc. It was worth it. Lisa Gerton is saying, I'm in Warwick, high of 62 today. Lisa, fantastic. 62 in the middle of the winter. Let's see. Crystal Johnson is saying, I would love to go on a Royal Caribbean, but just not in my budget. Carnival works best for my budget. Oh, there you go. Hey, Crystal, I tell you, you look at the pricing of Carnival, go to vacations2go.com, and then check out any other cruise line that's in that range. If you can find one that's close by, you may want to try another line. But hey, if it works for you and you're getting a good experience, you go with it. Absolutely. Doreen Chapman is saying, I think we are going to try Holland sometime soon. I think you're going to like it. Holland America's nice. S. Swan, training ship that Carnival uses for their employees. Saw videos. It's the ecstasy for training for employees. Okay, so I'm assuming you're getting a pretty good deal, and you're going to be served and looked after by the newbies, and you're kind of curious to see how that goes. I'd be curious to find out from you. What are your thoughts? Let us know when you get back on that. That sounds quite interesting. Training has to be done some way. They're doing it here on this ship, on this line, and they're telling the world about it. I get it. That's pretty cool. Peter Quadling is here. 70 degrees here in Brisbane, Australia, cooling down. Yeah, you've been hot down there, haven't you? Thankfully, it's a little easier now. Oh, my goodness. Jay Sonic is saying thank you for everything. He's telling me he loves the information I provide on cruises. And he's also congratulating me on 1,000+ subscribers. Thanks, Jay Sonic. And if you're taking off for the day, thanks for dropping by. You'll have a great time, I'm sure, down in Cuba. Peter Quadling is saying, kids, our boys are 25, it's a lawyer, and 29, PhD, both still at home but don't want to cruise with us. The lawyer and the PhD are still living with mom and dad. Isn't that something? Boy, are those kids smart. You educated those kids really well. They figured out the economics of life. And why would I leave the magic fridge? Why would I leave the home where the laundry facilities are right over here? Why would I do that? But I don't want to hang out with these folks on a cruise. That's great, Peter. I love that. Crystal Johnson saying, I'm booked on the Carnival Victory September 18, my first cruise. Looking forward. I'm sure you're going to be looking forward to it. I hope it's a good one. I'm sure it'll be a good one, Crystal. I hope when you're back from that cruise, that's a ways out, but between now and then you get some pointers from us as to how to take a first cruise, what to do, what not to do, and then of course after you're done, you can tell us how it went. But that's fantastic. That's gonna be exciting. You're gonna be on your first cruise. The Steaming Bean is here. If anyone bothers me, it's not usually the kids. There you go. I'm not. I have a speculation on who you might be referring to. Maybe it's a cabin mate, long-term acquaintance. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Or maybe it's other people. I don't know. That's not the kid. Richard Koromaski, if you own stock in the company that you are cruising with, they throw in cash. They throw in the cash on you on board account for a couple of drinks each. Wife thought I was crazy buying the stock. 4 cruises later, hey, you own stock in Carnival, you own stock in Royal Caribbean, or you own stock in Carnival, 100 shares or more, you get an automatic credit on every cruise you take, unlimited cruises. And it means all the cruise lines that these companies own, not just the brand name cruise line. So with Carnival, it includes Holland America, it includes Princess, It includes Seabourn or the others. The longer the cruise, the bigger the room credit. You want to take advantage of that. I did a video on this. It's already on the channel. You can find it, or I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Jay Sonic, not 5:30. It's more on 5:45. Steaming Bean. Today I am looking for cruising for Carnival for July 2019, and Royal Caribbean the next week. So you want to go on a back-to-back. Bingo, bango. Keep your eye open and see what the deals are. Debbie Emmanuel, oh, Crystal, congrats. Hope you have such a great time and will want to cruise again. Skyhawk is saying, why are those kids at home with those degrees? Wow, because they're all educated. They got those degrees, and they figured out the economics. If I live at home with mom and dad, it's way cheaper than if I live on my own. What's wrong with that? And if mom and dad don't kick me out, why wouldn't I stay here? This is fantastic. So, no, I get it. I get it. Depends how big the house is, though. Peter, we're talking about you. Oh, man. Okay. Jay Sonic saying, taking off for the day. Nope, but I will have to take the notifications off to avoid getting a ton of notices in my email account. From Tokyo, XLOSPO is saying the Disney cruises are expensive, but the food, minus the adults only dining room, is included. You are charged for the alcoholic and non-alcoholic specialty drinks. Yes, you are on Disney. That is correct. And the food is excellent. I heard the service is great. It's kind of like a 5.5-star line, Disney, where I hear nothing but good things about them. He goes on to say, and now time to start work. I'll listen to the rest later. Have a good rest of your day, everybody. Thanks for popping by from Tokyo, Japan. Fantastic. That was awesome. Doreen Chapman, just curious, what would 100 shares cost Royal Caribbean? I think the shares were trading at 120, 130 bucks. So that's a $12,000 US cost. If you buy the shares through a stockbroker in a margin account, and you just want to hold the shares long enough to get the discount and then sell the shares after your cruise is over, you need a quarter of the money. You're going to need, for say, $12,000 investment, you're going to need $4,000. The broker will put up the rest as long as the stock doesn't go down in value. You're liable for any drop in the price of the stock, but cruising ship stocks don't do this. They don't do that. They're pretty steady. But if you're on a 14-day cruise, you can get a $200 credit for your room. So $200 credit for a cruise. If you can hold the shares long term, you get a dividend on the stock, which is better than a T-bill, better than your savings account. It can add up. And you're taking a celebrity cruise, a Royal Caribbean cruise, or if you're going over on Norwegian, you take their cruises, or you take Carnival with all their cruise lines. It can add up to some serious savings, and it pays to be a shareholder of the company. It pays very well. You might even go to the bank, borrow the money to buy the stock, pay the interest of the bank, make a payment, and enjoy those credits that are worth way more than the interest payments you'll make. Plus, the interest payments are a tax deduction because it's an investment you're making on investment income. I think that's how that works in the States. I know it works like that in Canada. Funny how you can get a tax deduction to go take a cruise. Go figure. Hey, unbelievable. What do we got here? Peter saying, Doreen, Royal Caribbean is $131 a share at the moment, so $13,100 US. Debbie Emmanuel saying, Doreen Chapman, I was thinking the same about Norwegian. And Doreen, wow, that's expensive. Well, yeah, it's expensive, but it's a big company, and they haven't split their stock. Peter's saying that they also are paying about a 1.7% dividend yield. So that's 1.7% on your investment that you're getting back to hold the stock in the first place. So, it's an idea. Debbie's saying, think maybe cheaper to just keep buying my own drinks for now. Oh, well, you can always do that. Keep in mind, too, I was talking to someone the other day about another way to save money on a cruise. And some of you folks might be able to chime in here. This is off topic a little bit, but I thought I'd bring this up. If you're on a cruise now, let's say you're on a cruise with Celebrity or Princess or whatever, if you go to the booking room, they have a room on board where you can book a future cruise. They're promoting their cruise line all the time, and they've got deals in there. They've got promotions. If you make a reservation on another cruise going forward on the ship, they'll give you deals. Another thing I've heard is if you give them a deposit without picking a cruise, you just give them a deposit. It's fully refundable. If you give them that, you'll also get a room credit on a future cruise on top of that deposit. Just thoughts. And I'd be curious if any of you have done any of that. and have ever run into that. I'd be curious about knowing about that. Let's see here. Jeffrey is saying, sorry for being late to the to the show. Thanks, Jeffrey. Welcome back. The party, you say. Crystal Johnson saying, W. Manuel, I agree. Cost of the stock. Heather Young, hi everybody. 55 raining in Kentucky. Welcome, Heather. 55 at least, but it's a bit rainy. What are you going to do? Richard Koromaski saying, pre-cruise credit, pay $100 and get from $75 to $200 based on the length of the cruise as a credit. Yeah, on Princess, you're saying, yeah. Some of these cruise lines will offer you a deal, some kind of a future onboard credit on a future cruise if you make a deposit on your account for a future cruise when you're on board an existing cruise with the cruise line. So you may want to check into that the next time you're on a cruise ship. Just go to the promotion room. You'll find that they have the models of all the ships. Beautiful. And they'll have all the brochures about upcoming trips on upcoming cruises that they're talking about. And you may find some interesting intelligence there that can save you money on future cruising. Let's see here. Jay Sonic saying, oh, talking about that, Bruce, I have emailed Sea Cruisers last night saying I might want to join them on a group cruise on the Bliss, but I'm sure if I made a good move or not. Well, you know, they may send you all kinds of promotional material. It's always good to look into. It's free to look. Doreen Chapman, I don't think I can sell the stock idea to my husband. Laugh out loud. Well, you know, for some it works, for some it doesn't. Richard Kormaski, then you stack that with your stock credit and military police credit, gives you a lot of drinks. And that's a good point, Richard, because people who go on these cruises, you know, if you're an ex-military veteran, if you're ex-police service, you're ex-EMT, all firemen, all kinds of these different, you know, professions, you also get room credits on some of these cruise lines on top of other credits. And that's where it can get really interesting when you're trying to book maybe a 14, 16, 20-day cruise. You look at the big cruise price and you go, yeah, I see the price of the room, but think about this. I'm a shareholder. I get a credit. I put a deposit on my cruise on the last time I took a cruise. I've got a $200 credit guaranteed on this length of a cruise. Oh, I'm a military veteran. I get another couple of $100, and you just add it up and add it up and add it up, and you might realize, well, I can go on a 20-night cruise for $80 a night in a balcony. That's not a bad deal. Worth investigating. So I mentioned that as something as I'm passing on today. Stacking up the credits. Tracy Abolio is here. Here I am. So glad to be here live. Future Cruise Deposit is great. Thank you, Tracy, for coming from North Bay, Ontario. I was born in Sudbury. We're practically neighbors. Welcome from North Bay. Peter is saying in Australia, Peter Quadling, we had booked a Sydney to Vancouver, then Alaska, 40 days of cruising, with next cruise on Royal Caribbean ship. Vacations to go worked it out, saving us about $7,000 over the Royal Caribbean price. Unbelievable. That's fantastic. Way to check that out. We'll have to see what kind of cruises you can get. That's a great deal, Peter. That's a great deal. Okay, I want to mention something here about the continuing my topic about would you pay extra for an adult-only cruise without the kids. And I mentioned here that I read an article today about P&O Cruise Line out of the United Kingdom. The ship is called the Aurora. It's Auroro, the Aurora. The ship was launched originally in the year 2000, and it holds 1,800 and 7,400 passengers. And it's being converted into an adult-only cruise ship. Right now, it's for families. It's going to be converted to an adult-only. They're going into retrofitting into dry dock March 2019. So that's a year, about a year and a couple of months from now, year and a month from now, the ship will come out of dry dock, completely redesigned and re-retrofitted, and it'll be an adult-only cruise ship. And I love the one-liner I read from one of the PR people at P&O Cruises. Some reporter was interviewing for the story. And the P&O person made a quote, and I love this little line, quote, "Extensive research and guest feedback," unquote, is what led them to believe this would be a good idea. My thinking is extensive research. I know what that extensive research is. Royal Caribbean is launching the Symphony of the Seas with 6,400 passengers and all these water slides and wave riders and rock climbing walls and slides and laser tag and everything else for the kids. These guys don't stand a chance with a ship built in the year 2000 holding 1,874 passengers. They're not going to drop $100 million on that vessel to retrofit it up to a standard, because they'll never get their money back. They can't get enough paying passengers with families on board to make it pay. So rather than play that game, why don't we go the other way? They figure we'll tear out all the kiddie stuff and we'll take out the teen club and all that area, and we'll turn this whole ship into an adult only reclusive or exclusive club kind of place. We can charge a premium price for the cruises because the people coming on board know it's a quiet ship, no children, 18 and over is going to be the age, and we can now go upscale. We'll go upscale. That'll save the ship because this ship is 18 years old now. They either have to sell it off to someone else or they got to build a new one. And if they're going to build a new one, we know $700, $800, $900 million to put together a 4,000 passenger monster with all those toys on there for the kids. Not going to do it. They're going to pay $50 to $75 million, maybe 50 million at most. They'll rip out and then they'll redo that ship, and they'll bring up the standards on the carpeting and the furniture and the bedding and the interior. They're going to get a primo money, but they won't have a $700 million bill to the shipyard to get it. They'll have a $50 million bill, $75 million bill, and they'll get that back over the next 15, 20 years. That ship will now sail for another 10, 15 years. And that's the strategy. I love that. Extensive research and guest feedback. I love it. Now, I had another topic or another little thing to mention, or two little things actually. Symphony of the Seas, talking about the big ship. The Carnival Symphony of the Seas will be the largest cruise ship at sea when it's sailing the end of March, I think it is, coming up quick. Just passed its sea trials. It did 80 continuous hours of sailing off the coast of France. The ship is being built in France at the one shipyard there, and it's coming in at $1.3 billion. It has passed all of its sea trials, and they're now taking it back to the shipyard for final fitting out and final cosmetics. And the ship is getting prepped for the first paying passenger right at the end of March. So that's news on that one. Then the other piece of news was NBA All-Star Game. I teased you, if any of you saw my Twitter today or my Facebook or my Instagram. Sacramento, California, they want to have the All-Star Game for the NBA. They want to have the NBA All-Star Game in their city. And they're talking about 2022 or 2023. We're talking 4 and 5 years from now. They're talking about going for that game. That's how far out the competition is within the NBA for the All-Star Game. It's become a cash cow for whatever city gets it. But the NBA is saying, kids, you want to have the All-Star Game in your town? Well, you better understand something. This used to be back in the 80s, when Irving Johnson was playing, and then when Larry Bird started playing, we would just have the game on like a Sunday afternoon. We'd have like a little weekend thing, a couple of awards, and we'd have the game on Sunday, and then we'd all go back to our cities, and by Monday night or Tuesday night, we'd be playing basketball again. That was then. Now we got the game on Sunday. We have the competitions on Saturday. We have awards on Friday. We have all kinds of things on. It's a 1 week deal. It's a 1 week celebration of NBA basketball. And the cities that put it on, they're attracting all kinds of corporate interest. Corporations are sending their employees, like the top 100 best insurance salesman in our company. We're sending them to the All-Star Game in Sacramento for a week to party it up. And all kinds of other companies are using this as a getaway, as an excuse to do corporate promotions. The NBA is looking at Sacramento saying, how are you going to have 10, 20, 50,000, 75,000 people come into your town over the next week? You haven't got enough hotel rooms to go around because Sacramento is drowning in a booming business. It's a booming city. You don't have enough hotel rooms. Sacramento City Council started talking about bringing in cruise ships. And this is where I want to talk to the person who's watching from Jacksonville. You're watching from Jacksonville, Florida. If you're still with us, you had the Super Bowl about 5, 8, 9 years ago. You had the Super Bowl in your town. And I noticed you had cruise ships in port with a whole bunch of people going to the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl week party. I'm curious how many ships were in town, how many thousands of people were on those ships. How did it work out? Because Sacramento is talking about the same thing. They're thinking about chartering cruise ships. They want to talk to them now about this because they got to tie up these ships 5 years in advance to get them, 4 years in advance, whatever. And they want to know what it would cost them and what would it work? Would it be done by the city of Sacramento? Would it be done by the tourism board? Would it be done by a private corporation that the city of Sacramento would hire? Would it be done through the basketball team? How would this be arranged? And so this is the conversation going on at Sacramento City Hall, I guess, the last few days. And this topic will probably come up again. So that's a little tidbit about the All-Star game for the NBA. How big is this? It's that big. It's amazing. Some of the counselors were saying, "Oh, no big deal. We'll have new hotels built in the next 2 years if we know we're getting the game." That's the impetus for the Hyatt Regency to build a 25-story tower with 600 more rooms, and we'll start leasing them out right away. And the All-Star game will be a nice little cherry on top. I'm kind of thinking, really, you think that a hotel chain is going to come up with $300 million and build a hotel for a 1-week event and then hope that it all works out after that? I don't know if they want to do that. So the cruise ship idea is a great idea, because if you're just doing a sort of a 1 week or a 2 week long charter, where you're chartering the entire ship, maybe 2 or 3 of them with 2,500 passengers each or something like that, you're putting up 5,000 fans, 7,500 fans in the for the whole week kind of thing. Yeah, you can charge a flat price, maybe $1,000 a fan or something like that, and that's your lodging, your meals, whatever. Maybe it's $2,000 a fan. I don't know. I mean, how much would it have to be? I don't know if it'll include tickets, but if it included tickets, you'll really pay. But that's what's happening now. I mean, this NBA All-Star game is big money. People are paying a premium money to see the slam dunk contest, the 3-point shooting contest, all these things they've got going on. It's turned into a big moneymaker for the cities that are hosting these events. Anyway, I thought that was something interesting that I had read about. Love to get your thoughts and comments on that. What do we got here? We've got Jeffrey is saying, "Sorry, kids, you will have fun with grandma." Very good, very good. Jenny Miller, we did a $100 future cruise deposit per person and have a $50 credit per person on our upcoming cruise. Deposit was in Canadian dollars and our credit was in US dollars. A win, win, win. Nicely done. Jay Sonic is saying, "Hey, Jenny, how are you?" Jolly Bomb, "Hi, Bruce. It's 80 degrees in Alexandria. I booked a Grandeur of the Seas in December. For December, got $150 onboard credit. Deposit was $100 non-refundable." So he booked it in the 2017 for the cruise in 2018. He got $150 onboard credit. Way to go. Deanne is here. The onboard credit that Princess gives veterans is refundable if you do not use it on board. They send a check soon after the cruise. Very interesting. Richard Kormaski, stacking is still allowed on Carnival Cruise family of ships. But you are correct, George. Some lines are not stacking anymore. Jay Sonic, like this YouTube chat live with the history. Crash 3X, hello. Hey, Crash 3X, my number one. You're in Ottawa. How you doing? Jay Sonic saying hello. We're saying hi, everybody. Okay, Sylvan, an 18-year-old ship will eventually run into expensive updates from safety of life at sea, like so many other ships that have done in the past. Exactly, Sylvan. That's the other thing. If you're going to bring it in for a major dry dock, and you're just going to turn it around and put it back out to sea, and in this case, this particular P&O cruise has 1,874 passenger capacity. $100 million into that ship may not pay with the kind of competition it's up against. I mean, you're up against the big new ships from everybody else. This ship is going to get lost in the in the shuffle. So why not do the retrofit, but convert it to an adult-only luxury kind of liner, up its standards to a high 5-star, and you'll get the premium price. And yet you're only going to have to tend to seniors, retirees and the better to do, rather than all the families and all the beating up that the ship is going to take. I mean, the ship's going to take a pounding if you're going to allow families on board it. Whereas with the senior crowd, we're not as ruckus, and we're in bed a little earlier, and that might work. So there's the plan. I think it's a good one. Jeffrey is saying 13 ships were in port. Where were you in port? I don't know. Peter is saying we see the same with Melbourne, Australia, Melbourne Cup horse race. There are a half a dozen ships that are doing packages out of Sydney, etc. Good point, Peter. Well, thank you for telling me that. Yes, I can see this. This is going to become more of an event-driven thing too. Like, for instance, the Grand Prix in Monaco, the race in Monte Carlo. There's always a seaborne ship or a crystal cruise ship in the harbor. There's one at the pier and one out in the water. And all those folks paying $1,000 a night on that cruise ship, they got tickets to the races. They're watching the Grand Prix in Monaco. And at the end of the day, Sunday in the afternoon, by 6 o'clock at night, they're going back onto their cruise ship and they're off to the next port. And they've had themselves a lovely time. So yes, this is becoming more and more common. JSonic, NCR, new internet lingo. What is NCR? Sorry, I'm 40. I think I'm still going senile. National Capital Region in Ottawa, Crasher X is saying that's what NCR means. Going back and forth here. Peter is also saying in Australia, used to work for a tech company, digital equipment. They had a massive trade show in Boston a few decades back. They brought in 2 cruise ships as overflow accommodations. If you're a big company and you want to do a big time convention, wouldn't that make a lot of sense? Even for a place like Miami or Fort Lauderdale or Tampa or the Keys, but like say New Orleans, you're coming in New Orleans and you're bringing in 15,000 employees for a big Yahoo. Bring in a bunch of these cruise ships and put them on that deal. You'll get a volume rate from the cruise line. They'll keep the ship in the harbor. And you're going to have a great old time on there. That's a great idea. I think that's fantastic. If I were an employee, I'd be excited about that kind of a deal. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, and I get to fly to New Orleans for a 5-day convention, but I'm down there for 7 whole days. I'm on a cruise ship the whole time, and I get to run around the ship and enjoy everything. And then I got the convention over here. Got it made. That's you're going to tell all your friends about that. Paul Prince is here. Sacramento is 2 hours away from any ship, isn't it? No. There's a sea lane that comes in there through the Oakland and the harbor. There's something about Paul. I was thinking this myself, but I don't think so. I think they can get pretty close. I'm going to have to research a bit further, or some of us will, and we'll come and get back to that. But I'm not sure. I'm wondering also, would they just put the ships in Oakland and then have buses bring them in? If they had to do that. But something tells me there's a link, and it might get closer. Tracy Bolio was saying that would be a smart idea. I think so. Jeffrey Stoller, Jacksonville used cruise ports in town, as well as Port Canaveral and Mayport. So yeah, Jacksonville did use some ships for this. I saw the helicopter footage of the city. It was beautiful, and it looked really fantastic. Let's see. Jay Sonic saying goodbye for now. He'll let us know when he's back from Cuba. Have a great time, buddy. Let us know all about your trip down there when you get back. Debbie Emanuel, Paul Prince. Yes, I think so, but Sacramento would surely dredge through the center of the Sacramento River to accommodate ships. Laugh out loud. I don't know. Like I say, I'm not sure about the logistics, but I think it can get relatively a ways up. I don't know. Let's see. Skyhawk is saying, Jay Sonic, you mentioned booking through Amy. I wouldn't. She doesn't seem to be focused on that. She has a few other channels she does. It's a private message, I guess. Jenny Miller. Sorry, this is off topic, she says. We talked the other day about St. Thomas. Heard from someone there on the Regal Princess today, and the Joyride to Paradise Point opened last week. Okay, so that's the ride up to the top of where the lookout is, where the cable cars go. So that's interesting. I wondered if that cable cars running though, or is that the only way up there? Do you have to drive up there now on that twisty, windy road? But kind of curious. Paul Prince giving us thumbs up. Angela A. Amy from Sea Cruisers. Jay Sonic, yes, Angela. Anyway, that's that St. Thomas thing. Yeah, the cable car. I wondered if that was badly damaged during the hurricane, and have they? If it was damaged, has it yet been repaired, and is it operating yet? I'm kind of curious to hear about that. I did see. Hang on, say Heather Young saying someone had posted one of the videos. She was a convicted felon. They sent the link to the page, but she deleted it. Oh, I guess you don't want to book through her. I don't know what's going on there. Scott saying, yeah, Sea Cruiser seems to not be the same since her sister left. Jenny Miller, sorry Skyride. Heather Young, Google her name. Jay Sonic saying Skyhawk, and I just said that. She seems like a reliable travel agent. Richard Kormaski, yes, there is a port in Sacramento to handle large ships. Richard, thank you. There you are. There's the thing. They can handle large ships. So wouldn't that be something interesting? If they had that whole week going on the ship, and then they inaugurated, they either moved the ship back to San Francisco and started a cruise from there, or they started a cruise from Sacramento and it would drop you off in LA or something. I don't know. Interesting. What do we got here? Jenny Miller saying Joyride is the cable car and it is now open in St. Thomas. Okay, so the cable car is now open again in St. Thomas. Thank you for that. I was really curious about it. It's a fun ride. I think it's 3 sets of cars that kind of go up and down, back and forth. And I don't know, it's $15-20 or something like that. The one time I rode it, I'm sure it's about the same price now. You get to the top, it's a great view. It really is. You gotta take your binoculars with you if you're going up there, and you want to take a bunch of video or photos, because if you get up there on a beautiful day, oh, it's a gorgeous view. It really is. Matter of fact, today, I think what I'll do today on this video, after I go off the air, I will post it. And when I post this video, I'll post it with a picture I took from up the top from Paradise Point. And I took a picture back towards St. Thomas. I'll use that as the cover shot for this video. So if you folks are watching that, you can catch that later. For those of you who are just joining me here, who are new, if you've never been here before, or you're watching this video tonight, this is Bruce with Driving with Bruce. It's a live chat that I do every day. It's a live stream. It's usually about an hour and a half long, depending on how many folks are involved and how much fun we're having. We're always having fun. And I want to welcome you to the channel. I talk about cruise ship vacations and going on holidays, and my viewers and I, we are talking cruise ships all the time, and we're comparing notes and comparing ideas and sharing advice with newbies. So if you're new to cruising, you want to watch this channel. If you're watching live, sign in and say hi. Tell us where you're watching from. What's your high temperature today? The gang will say hi to you, I'm sure, and love to have you aboard. I want to thank a couple of my viewers today who sent super chats my way. I'm calling that the tip jar. I have a tip jar now on this live chat. Some of these folks see a $sign and they're able to send me $2 or $5, whatever they want. I am very appreciative of that. At the moment, I've been demonetized from YouTube. Last night, I was given a notice that congratulations, you've reached more than 4,000 hours. As a matter of fact, 11,000 hours. You have more than 1,000 subscribers. Now it's 1,070 something, and you're demonetized. Congratulations. But the good news is you're in for automatic review, and hopefully in the next week or so, you'll be back up. Well, thanks a lot. So for a week, at least a week, I'm down, and my only income now is super chat money. So if anyone puts anything in the tip jar, thank you very much. It'll compensate for my loss of ad revenue for the next week. I hope it's only a week or less. We'll see. Anyway, that a quick high-end commercial. Back to the show. Back to my subscribers and my viewers here, talking about what's going on. So we just found out that the cable car in St. Thomas is back up and running. And if you ever get on a cruise to St. Thomas, you want to take it. You really do. It's great. Jay Sonic's taking off for Cuba. I'll see you later. Skyrod, laugh out loud, autocorrect. Skyhawk saying, does anyone know what lines sail out of Charleston, South Carolina? I can drive to that port in under 4 hours, and I don't know, Skyhawk. I have a feeling that Charleston, South Carolina is a seasonal port at best. I don't know if it's a big-time port or wants to become one. I don't know. But I'll tell you this: if the city of Charleston and the Port Authority there really put some money into the port area, they'll attract cruise ships. But cruise ships, they demand certain things, and you can understand why. They understand a top quality departure terminal for the passengers. It can't be an old warehouse that's been converted into, a stinky old departure port. It's got to be plush and nice, especially if an outfit like Holland America's coming or Celebrity. You want to attract those people. You have a lousy terminal, they won't sail out of. They'll never sail out again. They'll tell all their friends, don't do it. You also have to have parking for people who drive, like you. If you're thinking of driving there, they have to have parking for you that's reasonably priced. They can't get away with $30 a night to park. You won't do it. They have to have ease of transport to the local airport, and they have to have an international airport kind of nearby, or shuttle service at least available, and parking for the shuttle buses to be able to get in and out. The terminal has to also handle all the material the cruise liner needs for its weekly supplies. So when all the booze arrives and all the food arrives and all the other items arrive, they have to be able to take off the ship all the garbage and all the recyclables and the luggage, and then be able to get the luggage on for the next group of passengers and all the supplies for the next week. So that terminal has to be perfectly designed to handle a 1,000-foot long, 18-story tall behemoth to attract them. And that's why you may or may not notice very much traffic at this point, or seasonal traffic, and the traffic you might see would be on smaller size ships. And when I say small, I'm saying 1,500 to 2,500 passengers, which 30 years ago, 50 years ago, a 2,000 passenger ship was the largest ocean liner in the world. Today, it's just another cruise ship. That's how big these are. So that's the thing about Charleston, South Carolina. Let's see. Jay Sonic saying thumbs up. Jenny Miller, $21 US for the Sky Ride. Yeah, that's fair. It's an okay price to pay. It's a great view. Make a couple hours of it. Absolutely. Take your time when you're up there. Buy a beer. My wife loves the Red Stripe beer, the stubby bottle from Jamaica. She grabs one of those and have a drink up there. Take a lot of photos and some selfies. Relax and enjoy it. $21, one of the cheapest outings you're going to have for that day. Terrence is saying Carnival goes out of Charleston. Pamela Jordan is saying Skyhawk, it's Carnival, the Ecstasy, I believe. Skyhawk, Terrence, I was hoping not Carnival. Crystal Johnson saying Ecstasy and Sunshine from Charleston. Stephen Dukar, 343. Okay, and freezing rain in Denton. Is it 34 degrees and freezing in Denton? Yes, it is. 33, not 343. Hi, Stephen. I just saw your second line. Welcome from Denton. Richard Kornmaski, Silver Sea sails out of Savannah, limited sailings, Savannah, Georgia. Very nice. Tracy Abolio, Carnival for sure leaves from Charleston. Charlie Baum, I think it's Carnival. Royal stops there. Don't know if you can board there. They may just only do day visits. Yeah, good point, Charlie. Crystal Johnson saying Skyhawk Turbo, you live North Carolina or South Carolina? I think he said North Carolina. Tracy, yeah, Charlie, that could be maybe not a main port to board, just a port to visit. And he said, Skyhawk saying, I live in Crystal, North Carolina. All kinds of Carolinians. I got Carolinians. I've got a Georgian. I got Floridians. I have New Jerseyers. What do you call New Jerseyites? I don't know. Where else are you guys from? I've got Wisconsin. I've got Illinois. I definitely have California. I know I got Nevada from time to time. Texas. I got Texas. I haven't got all the states yet. Had Honolulu today. Honolulu, Hawaii. Love the fact that you guys are from all over the place. It's fantastic. Sonny Wallace, Charleston, South Carolina port. Can check on Vacations to Go and select departure port. That's right, Sonny. You got it. Vacationstogo.com. You want to find out all the cruises from Charleston? Just go into Vacations to Go, search cruises, enter the departure port, Charleston, South Carolina, and it'll tell you any and all cruises coming out of there. Let's see. Soulful of Music is here. Ireland here. How you doing? Soulful of Music 100. You were on the MSCC side a little over a week and a half ago, and you gave us some more info yesterday about what it was like. I wanted to mention today to you folks, I saw 2 videos today that were just posted, I think in the last couple of days, by, I think, brand new YouTubers. I'm not sure if they're going to be active YouTubers, but a couple of YouTubers posted cabin videos. Now, a cabin video is when you take your smartphone or your whatever phone or your ever camera, and you are in the hallway in front of your room. You film the room number, and then you open your door to your cabin, and you give us a tour. And you'll show the bathroom and the closet area, and then you'll come into the bedroom and you'll show that. You'll show your vanity and where all your storage stuff is. Then you'll show if you have a couch or not. And if you're in a balcony, you'll take us out on the balcony and you'll show us the view from your balcony, and then out from the ship, what it looks like out there, and then back into your room. That's a kind of a room video. Those last 2, 3, 4 minutes. I saw 2 today. One video was somebody was on the MSC Seaside at the back of the Seaside on a balcony that wrapped around the corner. And that I found very interesting. They looked out the side of the ship from their bedroom, but the balcony wrapped around behind the bed to the back of the ship. And when he tilted the camera down, you could see the back deck of the MSC Seaside, because that ship is uniquely built where the back, it's like a back patio almost, sticks out of the back of the ship, and there's a pool there with all the chairs around it. So it looked really cool. As I've said before, the ship looks stunning. It's just the operations have been a problem, and the staffing and the food issues and so on. But in this case, the video was only a video with music in the background, no talking, no titling. And so it was really just a view video. But I found it very interesting, and I was hoping that that individual, I've sent them a message on their video congratulating on putting it up, and I sent them a message saying, why don't you come and join our live chat one of these days, told them when we're on, and tell me that you were the one who put that video up there, and we can ask you questions about the MSC Seaside. We want to know all these details about the ship. So hopefully maybe he'll watch this video tonight and see that I'm talking to him about it. There was a second video, similar kind of thing. It was another one of these room videos, and it was a more of a standard balcony suite. And I say the same invitation, I sent the same invitation to that person too. If you're putting videos out on the Seaside as a passenger, by all means, come on this live chat and tell us here live what the experience was like, because we've got questions for you. We want to know, did it smell? Was a poop smell anywhere? How was the food? What's the entertainment like? Are they making changes? Did you hear any rumors? That kind of stuff. Would love to know. Anyway, so that's my little thing on that. So Soulful, welcome from Ireland. I know you're on the ship. George McCrow is saying the St. Thomas Sky Ride can build up a 2+ hour wait line. Get to it early. Yeah, that's right, George. I was lucky. My wife and I got to St. Thomas on the Explorer of the Seas, and we were the only ship in port that day. I know that there are times there are 5 or 6 cruise ships parked in St. Thomas all in one day. But anyway, we were the only ship, and we got off the ship at 9 a.m. and by 9:30 we were at the pay window for the cable car ride. We were up there 10 o'clock, and we came down around noonish, 10 to noon, something like that. And there were about 50 people up there when we were coming down, and there were about 20 people waiting to go in line, waiting to go up. So we missed the lineups, and we got that first thing in the morning view when the sky is clear as a bell and the winds are calm, and it was just a gorgeous view, and got some really nice shots of the area up there. So definitely go early if you can, folks. Crystal Johnson saying, we are neighbors, laugh out loud, Skyhawks, she said. He's laughing back at her. Sonny Wallace, yeah, but did the aft balcony on Seaside smell? Apparently, the cameraman seemed to be unaffected by everything. Everything was smooth. So the gimbal was either working or whatever. So no, I don't know. I'd really like to talk to that person about it. Soulful Music, yeah, that's the Miami South Beach bar and pool area at the back of the ship. It really looks cool. I'm sure it was lovely. And from the balcony, it looked fantastic. And the back of the ship, like when you're on the balcony looking up at the back of the ship up there, It looks fantastic too. Yeah, those wraparound balconies, those were a nice touch. I really thought that was well done. Uh, Sonny Wallace is smiling. So anyway, anyone can tell us anything about the MSCC side. We're still gathering info about it, and we'd like to know, how's it doing this week? How's it going to do next week? We'd like to know, kind of what's going on there. He says, Soul Food Music saying, yeah, it is still smelling. Sonny Wallace, the pool on Seaside on deck 7 is very cool, but smoking area. Very interesting. Yeah, it's a smoking area for that pool area. Yeah, it's a European ship, right? It's run by the European company in sort of a European style, but they're catering it to North Americans, and not all of us are buying into the program. We have our own North American tastes, I suppose. And one of them is this right here, caffeine-free Diet Coke. Brought to you by Traveling with Bruce. Thank you very much. Otherwise known as brown, fuzzy water. There's nothing in it. Anyway, so we'll see how things go with the MSCC side as we go forward. Okay, I think that's going to be it for today, unless I've missed something. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover today. I think we've had a good show here. Lots of great questions. We have some newbies going on cruises. I hope you folks have a good time. I'm sure you will. The young lady that's going on the Oasis of the Seas with her family, that's going to be a blast. I'm quite looking forward to you doing that cruise. I hope you check out some of my other videos that I've made about first-time cruising. I've got all kinds of tips on what you should do, what you can bring on board, what you can't, and all that kind of stuff. Should be a lot of fun. Tracy's saying, I'll watch this with a glass of wine. There you go. Now you're talking. You can check me out and enjoy a nice little Chardonnay or a little Merlot or whatever, tickles your fancy or fancies your tickle. I mean, whichever. Jeffrey, eat lots of lobster. Tracy saying cheers. Debbie Manuel, another great show. Have a good night. Give me a thumbs up, folks, if you're still around. We'd love to get the thumbs ups today. Scott saying thanks. I'm saying thanks, Scott. Thanks for all of you folks watching. So I'm going to take off here. We'll catch you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern time, and Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern, and then Saturday at 2. And we'll talk cruise ships and whatever else is going on out there. Lots to keep up on. Sonny Wallace, thank you, Bruce. I'm saying thank you, too. Have a great evening. Debbie Manuel, good night, Bruce. All the good nights are coming in because I know I'm on about a 40-second delay here. While I'm saying my good nights, you folks are typing, saying goodbye. So, Debbie, have a good night. Soul Food Music, thanks. Have a great night, too. Thanks for all your subscriptions, you guys. Thanks for the super chat today, you guys. I really appreciate it. It all helps. And so here it is. I'm saying my good nights. It's Bruce with Traveling with Bruce saying thanks for joining me today. I hope you had a good time today. We'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody, and take care for now.